Conference basketball in full swing in the Mountain West. It is always good to be in Logan, Utah. The Utah State Aggies playing host to the Falcons of Air Force. And in conference play, it is Utah State at 1-3 so far. They won their opener. They've lost 3 in a row. And Dave Pilipovich's team 1-2. They won their opener in conference play. They've lost 2 in a row. Here's the Falcons starting lineup. Trevor Lyons can fill it up. Zach Coker, one of the leaders as well. Zach Moore, Hayden Graham, we talked about, and Kyle Brookheist round out the starting 5 for the Academy. And for the Aggies, they'll line up this way. The brothers Moore. It'll be Jalen along with his big brother Grayson Moore in the front court with Quinn Taylor. Chris Smith can fill it up. Darius Perkins as well. And if you're looking for Lou Evans, the 6'9 junior, who normally starts at the 5 spot for Utah State, he has concussion-like symptoms, so he's not available tonight.
Well, Drew didn't like Tim Duryea, needed one more challenge on his plate. The first year coach, yet another curveball thrown at him to see how he handles. Pretty tough loss after losing Collette and then Lou Evans.
Jalen Moore will jump it up with Zach Moore, and it is controlled by the Air Force Academy. They're in the dark blue, and Utah State obviously in the white with the blue trim.
Utah State starting in the man-to-man.
Yep, and Air Force, as many who've seen them in the past, knows they are very patient. Zach Coker on a cut to the basket, left it a little bit short. And Tim Duryea, the first-year head coach, though he's no stranger to college basketball. He's been one of the top assistant coaches for so long. Stu Morrill's right-hand man for a decade and a half here.
Over 14 years, he invested here. The last several of those as associate head coach. Returned 5 starters, and then that has kind of slowly fallen apart on Coach Duryea.
Perkins' pass picked off by Zach Coker. We have jockeying for position down low, and the young player, Quinn Taylor, a redshirt freshman, inserted in the starting lineup tonight, gets ticketed. There's Dave Pilipovich, 4 seasons at the Air Force Academy. He's just really solid, isn't he?
He is, and a great guy besides. He does a great job of managing his team as well as coaching his team.
Zach Coker out of the corner, knocks down a triple. That is something he can do with the best of them in this conference. 3-0 Air Force. Outside Jalen Moore, and he'll match nothing but the bottom.
Well, that's good news for the Aggies. They have really struggled shooting it in this 3-game losing streak from the 3-point line. 17 of their last 71, 23%. Jalen Moore gets them off started on the right foot.
Brookheist gets a ball screen. You'll see a ton of ball screens from Air Force and a lot of dribble handoffs.
Yeah, and Tim Duryea talked to you earlier today and said Aggies going to go under that. They're going to play that soft until they start getting hurt.
2 to shoot it. They got to get one up. An off-balance jumper, front of the iron, no good from Trevor Lyons. So real good defense, and then an easy one at the other end. And you get the young player started, Quinn Taylor.
Terrific early offense by the Aggies. Taylor doing something hard to get something easy, simply running the court hard, but what a delivery by Jalen Moore, a 30-foot bounce pass. Now remember, Jalen Moore is 6'9". You could use the term point forward if you wanted. That was a terrific pass.
And immediately he shows his versatility, his unselfishness. Just a good player.
Well, the Aggies are one of the top teams in the league in assist-turnover ratio, which is amazing because they haven't scored it very well, so they don't create a lot of assists.
Well, that's good news right there for the Air Force Academy. They got something inside off an inbounds play. Zach Moore flipped it in with his offhand.
That was a little bit too easy for my money with the Aggies. You know, it's real easy to relax defending an in-out-of-bounds play, and I think that's what the Aggies did there.
Yeah, that was a missed jumper from deep from Chris Smith. We'll get back to Chris Smith in a moment, but look at the inbounds play that wasn't defended.
Well, you know, that wasn't bad on the ball defense here. That was a pretty tough shot by Moore. I kind of take that as a little mini criticism on my part, but I thought they actually defended that fairly well. That was a tough shot.
Hayden Graham from 18, and that's no good. Battled for and out of bounds to Utah State.
Now you see Graham got to that shot pretty easy because the Aggies, just like we were talking about, Drew, are going under those handoffs. That shot's going to be there tonight. Can Air Force cash in and make it go in? Hayden Graham is second in the league in field goal percentage, but he does most of his work inside the three-point line. Really clever around the basket, a good driver, okay three-point shooter.
This is Grayson Moore, and his jumper just a little bit off. And Zach Coker has been hitting the glass despite being 6'3". He's got 18 rebounds his last 2 games. He plucked that one down.
10 against Wyoming in their last game, all defensive like that. He's a tough kid, boy. I like him.
And he loses the basketball there. Perkins misconnects with Grayson, and it goes out of bounds. And which way? Vern Harris, the veteran official, says it'll go to the academy. We're tied at 5. A little more than 3 minutes in.
Vern Harris, a little more than just a veteran. He's refereed probably, what, 3 final games in the NCAA. He's one of the best there is.
Yeah, absolutely. Hayden Graham thought about it. Now he penetrates, and that's a good-looking shot from the lefty. Hayden Graham, a junior from Austin, Texas.
See, Hayden Graham turned down that three-point shot. Remember, he missed one before that, but Moore can't let him get right to 6 feet that easy. That's the best part of Hayden Graham's game, is that middle game pull-up.
And speaking of pull-ups from the elbow, Jalen Moore misses. Loose ball foul against Utah State. And that'll go on Chris Smith.
Both teams shooting it pretty free and easy from the perimeter. It's as the powers to be want this game to be now a little more free flowing. I think both teams are playing a little bit soft defensively and giving up the long jump shot.
Backdoor cut, and Perkins clobbers Trevor Lyons, so he'll get a couple of free throws.
Moore's a great high post player in this Air Force offense. It's kind of a hybrid of what Air Force has run for many, many years, that Princeton offense. But you got to have a guy that can shoot it, a post guy, speaking of, and pass it, as you saw Moore do.
And Zach Moore's the only senior for Air Force. He does not have a great deal of experience because you mentioned the 5-man has to be able to shoot it in their offense. But Marek Oleszynski was that guy last couple of years. He did shoot it well from three-point range.
Well, simply stated, if the 5 guy can't shoot it, then his defender just stands in the paint and takes away all those back cuts. But Moore shoots it well enough. In fact, he leads the team in free throw shooting that you got to honor him out there. And that again, it was a very nice pass to Lyons, their leading scorer, who's just a sophomore.
But he missed both free throws. Here's Chris Smith. He is a guy that can really score it, and he misses badly there. He's 0 for 2. 2 on 3. Lyons drives hard. Outside, he finds Hayden Graham. I don't think he intended to. And his jumper doesn't go.
Lyons a little bit out of control there, jumping before he knew what he was going to do.
This is one of the best shooters in the conference, Chris Smith. Last year at 47%. He had only 7 attempts the last 3 games in conference from three-point range. Is that because they don't have an inside presence?
Well, I think when David Collette left, that changed the dynamics in a big way offensively. And without having that great low-post presence to score, they're not doubling up. They're chasing guys off the screens. They're not getting the same jump shots that they were last year, Drew.
Zach Moore got in the kitchen, but the draw closed on him. He had to make that shot, man. He was at point-blank range. Perkins for 3. And Jalen Moore competing for the rebound, couldn't corral it. 8-7 Utah State. Lyons rejected by Moore, trailing the play. Big-time block. Here's Smith to Perkins, and good defense by Air Force.
Well, that was a great job by Jalen Moore, chasing down that play, coming over his brother to get to that block. It's an up and down affair right now, 8-7 Utah State.
Mountain West basketball on Root Sports is brought to you by Steel, for people everywhere who refuse to compromise. Find yours at steeldealers.com. With Joe Cravens, I'm Drew Goodman. Utah State leading by 1 at home against the Air Force Academy. And Utah State, Tim Duryea's team, has been, I'm sure, chomping at the bit to get back on the floor, because in their last outing, they lost badly to New Mexico, 77-59. And at halftime in that game, they were down 43-18.
Well, they shot 24% in the first half, and that'll do it to you when you're playing in the pit. And they came back the second half and got back in it, so to speak. But the first half, talking to Tim, he said his team felt very embarrassed about that. That could happen to you in the pit.
Yep, Air Force comes out in the zone right now, but Utah State, as we get a long three from Julian Perry, who comes in and gives them instant offense. His 24th triple of the year. He's hitting just under 39% from three-point range, but he said that we didn't compete in that first half. And he said, I feel like we hit rock bottom. That's not a bad thing. Now we're going to rise up.
No, I think you have to be challenged sometimes. This was a team that kind of read all their accolades after having a good year last year, 5 starters back, and you have a tendency to lose your edge sometimes. If you're not a veteran team and people are telling you how good you are, it takes you a little while to get that edge back, and I think the Aggies fell into that trap a little bit.
Joe Tuss, 11 on the floor for Air Force Academy.
Rector in for the Aggies as well, a very explosive type point guard. He's had his ups and downs. He started a handful of games. Perry again.
You know, Chris Smith not only can shoot it, but he gets it off quickly, Coach.
I thought that was Perry who just hit the last one. Chris Smith, I was going to say, Drew, you look at his three-point shooting, he shoots 37%. You think he's shooting it pretty good. Problem is, he shot it at 47% last year.
Joe Tuss, we're talking about their 5-man not shooting it as well this year, Zach Moore. Zach Moore starts, but Joe Tuss can shoot it from the perimeter.
Well, he's played in all 16 games. He's had a couple starts. He, again, is a pretty good high-post player in this offense, as he just showed. He can shoot it in from there.
Jalen Moore off the bounce, no go. And Tuss boxes out around the free throw line. 14-10, Air Force trailing by 4. Hayden Graham outside the Tuss.
We're 8 minutes into this game, and neither team has an offensive rebound.
Coker lets go, and he hits another triple. Zach Coker, his second triple of the night. 14 for the season. He's one of the top three-point shooters in the conference. Speaking of high percentage, Coker in his career at the Air Force Academy shooting just under 42%. That's 5th all time. Jalen Moore, no go, and Hayden Graham grabs the rebound. 14-13, Utah State by 1.
Excuse me, Drew. Jalen Moore's had a couple good looks. He just hadn't been able to make go down yet.
Offensive foul on Brookhice. Another timeout coming, 11:34 to go. First half, Utah State at home by 1.
Hi, I'm Zach Coker. I go to the Air Force Academy. I'm a junior, and I play shooting guard. My most embarrassing moment is probably my first free throw in college. I airball, shot an airball, so that's probably one of the most embarrassing. I can only go up. Yeah, exactly.
Well, he's gone up plenty since that first missed free throw. All time at the Air Force Academy, as we mentioned, 5th. And a year ago, Zach Coker shot 48% from three-point range.
Well, he was a leading returning scorer for this Air Force team. He's been very, very consistent. People talk about his three-point shooting like we're doing now, but he's a tough kid. He's a great defender. 10 defensive rebounds against University of Wyoming in their last game, and you don't do that unless you're sticking your nose in the fray at that.
Rector makes the layup, and he'll have an opportunity for a three-point play. Shane Rector from the Bronx, come a long way to play his college basketball.
By way of Miami-Dade Junior College, which is another long way. He started 9 games this year. He can make acrobatic plays. He's had a couple big game-ending free throws where he beat Weber State and Missouri State. He's just been so up and down that terrific one night and looks almost disinterested the next night. And, you know, I know it's been maddening to the Utah State coach.
The Rector completes the three-point play.
Elston Jones now, the big sophomore in for the Aggies.
Brookheis came free. He knocks down a three-pointer. Kyle Brookheis with his 9th triple of the year. And Air Force within one again, 17-16.
Brookheis not a big scorer, only averaging a little over 5 points. Relatively new to this rotation, had to set out 2 years ago because of an injury the entire year.
Good ball movement, Perkins from the perimeter, no go. Everything's been perimeter oriented for both schools. Probably not a big surprise.
No, again, we're almost halfway through the first half. Neither team has an offensive rebound yet. The Aggies have stayed in that soft man-to-man defense. You can tell it's soft. No one's feet have come outside of the three-point lane in any possession yet.
And taking advantage a little bit, finding a gap was Hayden Graham.
Yeah. If you're going to play soft, then you got to shrink those gaps, as coaches call it. Give them that outside jump shot, but you can't give them that gap to the basket, although Hayden Graham, one of the best in the league at taking advantage of a crack in the door almost.
Halfway home in the first half, it's 18-17 Air Force. And again, one shot now.
Utah State has to be careful not to fall in love with that three-point shot. They shot 29 three-point attempts at New Mexico in the pit, but they also got 17 offensive rebounds, which means to me that they're playing hard and rebounding, which they, again, have not got an offensive rebound yet tonight.
Half dozen now for Hayden Graham, three-point lead for the Falcons.
He's pretty smooth, isn't he, Drew? I mean, he's left-handed. He, as I said in the open, he's terribly effective, efficient on offense. No wasted movement. You don't see him over-dribble the ball, hold on to it too long. Gets to his shot pretty quick. He's pretty effective.
Yeah, he's a good-looking young player. 6'5" junior. Here's Jalen Moore, and that was contested. C.J. Seipels goes upstairs for the rebound. Brookheis posted up for a moment. Seipels will give it up.
Jalen Moore 1 for 3 from the three-point line right now.
Tuss gets a good look, and a one shot now for Air Force. Bring it down the floor is Grayson Moore. Goes to his brother. He gets stripped by Tuss. 3-on-2. Coker off to Graham. Good block by Grayson Moore. Jalen Moore didn't get the roll, get a couple of free throws.
As I said, this is an up and down affair. Right now, Air Force taking it off a steal down to the other end. Grayson Moore on a nice block there. And coming down the other end, it's been up and down, but not either team having a hard time completing shots. Remember, both teams shot under 40% in their loss on the road last week. Not shooting a lot better than that right now.
Jalen Moore knocks down the free throw. He's got 4 points. Well, there's Jimmy Moore. We always show the Moore family when we're in town. Jimmy's been an athletic director, an associate athletic director here for a long time. He's in the Utah State Hall of Fame. Tremendous player in the mid-70s here for Utah State. Both his kids, not only good basketball players, they're great students. They're great in the community. And it's got to be fun for the Moore family to watch now Grayson and Jalen play together, because Grayson transferred from Northwest Nazarene University.
I always kid Jimmy. When I met Jimmy, when I was still in college coaching, he was the assistant coach up here before he went into administration. The last time there was brothers on the same floor here, it was John and Nate Wickheiser that played for Larry Stacey way back in 1993. That's been a long time since they've had brothers on the floor together.
They've moved on. Larry has not. He's still in the conference coaching, right?
He is. They're the two Wickheiser brothers. Nate was 7 foot, his brother 6'7". They took up a lot of room in the paint when Coach Larry Stacey had him playing here.
And a foul on Elston Jones, who just checked in. 7:58 to go first half. 2019 Falcons. Tonight's scoreboard is brought to you by Red Lobster. Air Force leading Utah State 2019 with Joe Cravens and our entire Root Sports crew. I'm Drew Goodman from Logan, Utah, about an hour and 20-minute drive north of Salt Lake City, northern part of the great state of Utah. There's Zach Coker. Zach's done some pretty good work in the weight room, huh?
Yes, he is. He's, like I told you, he's a tough kid. I think he's, known for his shooting, but got a good body. He's put hard work into that. Good defender.
Moore gets tripled up and down, and he lays it in. Good-looking move inside for Zach Moore, the senior from Flower Mound, Texas, and it's a three-point Academy lead. Smith drives, and he was held.
Nice pass there by, I think that was Hayden Graham. And Moore having the presence of mind to keep his balance, not panic in there, make one move, a second move, and finish it. He looked every bit the senior there that he is.
Smith off the inbound play leads the mid-range jumper short. Coker with another rebound. Still no offensive rebounds for either school in this game. And we're talking about the 7:25 left in the first half. I don't know if I've seen that in a long time.
I don't know that I ever have. If they get to halftime with no offensive rebounds here, the Aggies shooting 35% at that last timeout. Now probably down less than 30.
And usually, there's Coker, another rebound, 2-on-1. Here's Louder, who just stepped in. Pretty layup for the freshman from Raleigh, North Carolina. Starting to get some playing time for Dave Pilipovich.
Well, very poor transition defense then by the Aggies. That long jump shot led to a long rebound, and the Aggies, if they're going to take as many jump shots as they are, they have got to get back in transition defense because, again, that ball rebounds long, and it's just a tailor-made fast break when you rebound it.
Darius Perkins with a triple, his first bucket of the game. Here's what else is unusual when you say no offensive rebounds yet. Utah State was shooting below 40%, which means there's a lot of rebounds to go grab.
And again, coming off a game where they had 17 offensive rebounds, I don't quite get it. Again, they've kind of settled into this pattern of working around the perimeter and just taking a three-point shot. Now, I know they don't have a big low post presence, but when was the last time you saw them drive it to the paint and create something? They have got to get out of this just settling for a jump shot. They've taken the easy way out offense.
And correct me if I'm wrong, there is no law against perimeter players posting up.
No, not whatsoever.
But guards posting up once in a while too.
If this was a football game, you'd say they're playing a whole lot east and west and not a whole lot north and south.
Yeah. Well, now they get in the post. Speaking of a player,
well, they must have heard you. Nice coaching adjustment there, Drew. Good job.
Just trying to help out. Chris Smith with 8.
Nice job. As you speak, like you said, Chris Smith, a big, strong body. Yeah, you can get down there and play in the low post, son.
5.5 to go in the first half. Tied at 24. And the difficult layup will not go for Trevor Lyons. He's been shut out so far. And Lyons is their leading scorer, better than 15 a game.
Nice rebound there by Jalen Moore, coming from a long way away to get there.
Smith trying to take over. And he's got the Aggie crowd on their feet. He's got 10.
How about two great offensive possessions where they post up and they drive it? The game is played from the inside out. You may not have a great post-up player, but you got to get that ball to the paint to compress the defense.
Hayden Graham for 3, another air ball. What's going on? They keep opening the door on that end. Zach Moore had one a moment ago.
Well, I thought he was a little bit out of rhythm there. He kind of gave a little shot fake and wasn't sure where they could shoot it, and that was what I used to call a DNDI, did not draw iron, and it didn't draw iron by a long way from a kid who's second in the league in field goal percentage.
You didn't track those things when you were coaching, did you?
Only once or twice. There's Jalen Moore again with a low post catch. Drew, You must have signaled Coach Duryea over there.
Right. I think Tim's pretty smart enough to realize that he can't watch his team for 40 minutes firing 22-footers.
Boy, isn't that the truth.
So Jalen gets tagged, and he'll go to the stripe.
What's worth mentioning again, over in the pit against New Mexico, they had 29 three-point attempts, which is great if you're shooting them in. They were only 6 of 29, 20%, and they've not. This is a team that led the Mountain West Conference in field goal percentage and three-point percentage last year. Now, we talked early in the game, without the presence of a big guy, low post scorers changed the dynamics of their offense, but you know, they're still just not shooting very good this year.
And Moore has converted all 4 of his free throws. 7 points for Jalen Moore. Chris Smith has 10, so 17 between those two veteran Aggies. 28-24, Utah State. They were down by 5 a few moments ago. They're on a 9-0 run. And here's the steal by Smith. Got to beat Coker, and he will. 11-0 run for the Aggies, and it's been led by Chris Smith,
the senior out of Sacramento, who has started every game since he's been here. Honorable mention all conference last year, leading his team in this first half, giving them a huge offensive spark.
And that was out of rhythm also for Zach Coker. And we finally have an offensive rebound. Moore missed that one, gets it back. And he misses again. And it's finally pulled away by Quinn Taylor. Jalen Moore, tough shot. And now the Aggies have got it going. Dave Pilipovich calls timeout. He's waving his arms. Come on over here. 32-24 Aggies, a 13-0 blitz here in Logan. Utah State about halfway home in the first half, just settling for jumpers. That changed with Chris Smith post up, and they're in the midst of a 13-0 run, Joe.
Well, Chris Smith kind of taking the bull by the horns, only averages a little over 12. He's got 12 already on 5 of 8 from the field, 2 of 3 from the 3, but all of a sudden giving his team a lot of much-needed energy at the offensive end.
He's a guy that can go get you 20 legitimately, not taking 20 shots, but taking good shots and getting himself occasionally to the line, and his ability to shoot threes. He can get you a big number.
Well, you just saw him post up. Now, again, he's noted for his 47% three-point shooting last year. Got a basket posting up, got a basket off a steal and a dunk, got a basket driving to the basket. So not settling to take jump shots, but scoring in a variety of ways.
But he just bought his second. Grayson Moore takes his place. I think Tim Duryea is going to keep him out probably the remainder of the first half. 3:24 left in the first half, so he doesn't buy his third.
No, he's up 8 points. Tim Duryea I'm referring to. I think that's a good move, setting with 2 fouls. And the Aggies come out in zone defense after that timeout.
Ooh, that's a soft iron right there. Zach Coker got the high floater to go. 8.6 rebounds for Coker.
That ball was deflected, and Coker in the right place at the right time. Here's a guy I'd like to see be more aggressive, Darius Perkins, who we talked before the game. In 15 games, he's only shot 14 free throws, and he's a big, strong body that ought to take a page from Moore's book and start driving that ball and being more aggressive.
Stepped away by Grayson Moore, no good. Here's Lyons. They need his offense, and he had a shot blocked.
Talk about a guy at MIA. Trevor Lyons, the Air Force leading scorer, 0 for 4 tonight.
Tough runner by Julian Perry. He's got 5. Sophomore from McKinney, Texas. He started a bunch last year. They need his offense off the bench. Zach Moore misses.
They started 27 games last year. Tim Duryea moving him out of the lineup when he was having a tough time shooting it in, and the kid kind of got into a comfort zone coming off the bench, which was fine with Coach Duryea because he provides a great offensive spark coming off the bench.
Perkins misses from 15. Here comes Lyons. three guys who just touched it for Air Force, the heart and soul of the team. Lyons, Coker, and Graham.
Without a doubt.
Nice drive. Good looking drive. Putting it on the floor for Zach Moore.
We just drove it by Quinn Taylor there, and Taylor has just got to move his feet. I know that he hasn't played a lot, but that was strictly just one-on-one defense where you got to stay between your man and the basket. Like that, like Brookheist just did to Moore.
Yeah, but again, now they're settling for jumpers. Since Chris Smith went out, everything's been on the perimeter. And Air Force down by 8 a moment ago. They're within 6, and Coker had a good look there. That's a strong rebound for Grayson Moore.
Grayson Moore, in his first start at New Mexico, had a career-high 30 minutes, and he had 9 rebounds, 6 points, 3 assists, 4 steals. So he's kind of making a name for himself just being active like that, rebounding out of position. It's amazing. Good things happen when you play hard, Drew.
Yeah, and he's a hard-playing kid.
He is.
That's not a surprise.
No,
you know
not
his
at all.
dad. A couple blocks also tonight for Grayson Moore. Hey, tune into Root Sports tomorrow for an ACC basketball doubleheader at 5. Syracuse hosts Boston College, and then it's Virginia Tech and Wake Forest at 7. College basketball tomorrow, ACC style, on Root Sports. Coach Boeheim back with the orange.
He is. He said he wasn't having a whole lot of fun sitting around not doing anything.
He gets to come back and play North Carolina.
Yeah.
Back, huh?
Yeah, welcome back, Coach.
Isn't that amazing when you think of Syracuse? They've stayed in that 2-3 couple of decades.
Forever and a day. He gets those great long-armed athletes, boy, and they make it tough. You throw it up there, and they just gang the glass.
Now it's deflected out of bounds. It'll stay with the Aggies. 34-28, 44 seconds left. Utah State leading.
That was a great old Aggie set play there coming out of the timeout that Stu Morrill used to call it dribble. I'd like to have $1 for every time he scored on me coming out of a timeout with that same play.
From the elbow, Quinn Taylor, that's not a good shot, but the shot clock was winding down, and the Aggies are going to catch a break because it's out of bounds off of Air Force. Well, Stu Morrill, who is a legendary figure in Logan, Utah, retired at the end of the season, and there he is. He's right behind the Utah State bench, and he can dress a little more casually now that he's not wandering the sidelines. But, I mean, you talk about one of the great coaches, one of the unheralded coaches in college basketball over the last 25 years.
Well, the all-time leading coach, winningest coach here at Utah State, he and his pretty wife, Vicky, there, and Stu looks a lot healthier right now than he did this time last year. This is a tough, tough profession. 17 years as the head coach here, and his teams were always, always hard to play.
Well, 2009 through 2011, they went to the tournament. I mean, they were a regular fixture in the NCAA tournament. Utah State has not been back since that 2011 campaign.
Well, it took his team through 2 different conference changes. They were in the Big West, then the WAC, and then the Mountain West Conference, each time taking a step up and each time continuing to win.
Yeah, and there it is, winning tradition. Best winning percentage since 2000. Duke, you'd expect that. Kansas, you'd expect that. Gonzaga, absolutely. Kentucky, sure. Florida, with when Billy Donovan was winning national championships, when Larry Shiat was his top assistant. Oh, look at that by Rector, and it counts.
Rector, as I said earlier, is a kid that can hit acrobatic shots. When he gets it going offensively, he can put on a show.
Duryea wants his zone here, probably as much as anything to keep Chris Smith out of getting a cheap foul.
Without a doubt.
2 seconds left. Air Force in trouble to get one off. Coker, a runner, no good. And Utah State will take an 8-point lead to intermission. 36-28.
What
crafty play from Rector.
A little Bronx, New York trickery there by the junior college transfer, and the Aggies have got a little momentum going into halftime.
Brought it from the 5 boroughs. That is the end of the first 20 minutes in Logan. Again, our score 36-28. The Aggies leading the Falcons. Don't go anywhere. Coming up, Jenny Kapnar gets a behind-the-scenes look at one of the most intimidating fan groups in college basketball.